Hey, what's going on, guys? Rodrigo here from Unleash Your Fitness. I'm coming to you with another video. This time we are doing episode number 2 of the nutrition advice, and we are going to be talking about macros, right? Macros are pretty big, so before you if you haven't watched episode 1 where I talk about calories in versus calories out, I suggest you go watch that now before you watch this video. All right, and the reason for that is because usually that's how debate starts. Like, for example, calories in, calories out versus macros versus calories in, calories out, which one's better, which one works, blah blah blah. At the end of the day, it's all the same thing, but you gotta know the right information so you can kind of see the whole information, right? Because sometimes, for example, if you just watch this video, you might only get the macros part of the whole nutrition thing without looking at the calories in versus calories out. It's all, I'm gonna break it down to where you can fully understand the whole thing, right? Because the calories in, calories out is like the big thing, macros is second, then you kind of make your way down to diet, stuff like that, right? I'm explaining everything, but if this is the first time that you're watching this, nutrition advice, make sure you go watch episode 1. I'm gonna leave the link down below, because I don't want shit to get started later on where it's like, oh, macros are better, calories in, calories out is better. And I'm promoting what I'm promoting here is what I'm gonna give you is information. So make sure you get full information. All right. Now, before I continue, no, I'm not a nutritionist, right? I don't have a degree on it. All the information that I'm gonna give you, it's information that I learned, that I gather through trial and error with our clients, with myself, for this within this 4 years that I've been a personal trainer, right? So it's up to you if you want to take my information or not. If you do, cool. I hope you get great results. If you don't want to take it, that's also cool, right? So let's get to it, right? Let's start off with what are macros, right? Macros are going to be your protein, your carbs, and your fats, right? Those are the 3 main things that your body needs. And it's kind of hard not to get like any of it, right? Because you got to eat. Anything that you eat is going to contain one of the 3 or 2 of the 3, if not all 3. Your protein, your carbs, and your fats, right? So let's go ahead and break that down. So let's start off with protein, right? Basically protein, and I'm not gonna get too scientific into it. I'm just gonna tell you the basics of it so you can kind of understand it. So as far as protein, right, protein is used to kind of help you build muscle, recover. For example, let's say you're lifting weights, right? Anybody that lift weights, whether it's, especially if it's your first time, right, the following, after the rest of the day after you lift your weights, you're gonna be super tired, right? And not tired where it's like you want to go to sleep or stuff like that, or you might get like that, but it's kind of rare. You're gonna be tired to the point where it's like, let's say you did upper body, you did hit some shoulders, right? So for the remainder of the day, you might feel those shoulders, kind of worn out. Might feel kind of tired. You're not gonna want to lift stuff throughout the day with your shoulders because you already basically tore them up, right? And that's what happens when you lift weights. You tear your muscles up on purpose so then they can rebuild. Now, whenever they're rebuilding, it's a process called protein synthesis, and in order to get that process going, you got to get some protein in your body so it can promote that protein synthesis, right? Protein synthesis. There's a reason why there's protein in protein synthesis, right? So you need to get your protein in. Now it's kind of hard if you can still get your protein in if you're, like, for example, vegan or vegetarian. It's just a little bit hard to get your protein in without getting, like, going over your carbs or stuff like that, which I'm gonna talk about later. But it's not impossible, right? Just know that you need protein to help with recovery, right? So during that time where you're like sore as hell, and protein synthesis can occur, can happen right after your workout, like 4 hours after, or even up to 24 hours later. That's why the next day you wake up super sore. During that time, your muscles are still trying to get back together, right? Now another thing is you won't always be sore, so just because you're not sore doesn't mean you didn't have a good workout. Now if you push yourself, if you know that you gave it everything you got and you weren't sore the next day, don't worry about it. You're not always going to be sore, right? All right, moving on. Just keep in mind, protein is going to help you build muscle, help your muscles recover faster, and also if you go on a caloric deficit when you're trying to lose weight, you obviously want to keep your protein high. That way you won't lose as much muscle, since you're not going to be you're basically going to be eating less than what your body needs to kind of maintain, right, your weight. Next up, we got carbs. So carbs are like very important, even though some people are kind of like carbophobic, right? Carbs it's going to give you instant energy. It promotes high intensity workouts. So for example, if you ever been on a low carb diet, your workouts suck. you might push through it, but the whole time is like, damn, what the fuck, like, like I'm trying to finish this shit already. You have low energy. Now unless you're doing keto, which is something different, right? Low carb and keto are two different things. There's something that you got to know. Keto, you got to be in ketosis. Low carb, you're not in ketosis, but you're definitely taking in less carbs than what your body needs to have that much energy, or the energy that is used to getting from carbs. Another thing with carbs, it actually helps with recovery as well. Now it doesn't help you as much as protein helps you, but the thing about the carbs is that it's instant energy. So whenever you get the carbs in, your body's going to use that energy to help you do your daily activities, which is going to push your protein to the side and just leave it there to get a full effect on the protein synthesis, or to help you recover, or just kind of maintain your muscles, stuff like that. So think about it like this: if you don't get enough carbs in, right? Now, I mean, not saying you're in a keto diet, just low carbon, and you are, for example, not even getting enough protein in, so you're already low on carbs, so your body is probably going to use those carbs up pretty fast. So the next thing it's going to do is go to the protein and grab from the protein to give you that energy you need to kind of finish off the day. And if it grabs energy from that protein, then you're not going to have enough protein for that protein synthesis. So keep that in mind. That's why whenever you diet and you are keeping your proteins pretty low and not like kind of bumping them up a little bit higher, that's why you kind of start losing muscle. And yes, you do lose weight, but at the same time you lose muscle. But if you keep your protein high to kind of make sure you have extra protein in your body to give your body energy if you're low carbon, and also have enough protein left over for the protein synthesis to occur or to help it, right? You won't lose as much muscle as if you were on a low carb, low protein diet. Next up, we got fats, right? So fats are pretty awesome. They're pretty awesome, right? So same thing, they give you energy. Fats do give you energy. They also protect your organs and keeps cholesterol and blood pressure under control, which is always a great thing, right? Your health should be your main focus. You always want to be healthy, right? So you can, you obviously you want to live longer, right? You want to live long without having any health issues. So that's what your fats will help you do. Now here's the thing. As far as macros, right? Your protein and your carbs, you get 4 calories per gram. With your fats, you get around 9 calories per gram. So obviously with fats, you're gonna get way more calories than your carbs and your protein. That's why protein is always gonna be like lower than your protein and carbs, right? So I'm gonna give you an example. Well, before I go to that example, I just want to get clear something out. Get one thing clear, right? You're always gonna get people or trainers or whoever, right, that are gonna say macros is better than calories in versus calories out. Most of the time they're gonna bullshit calories in versus calories out, and you say that macros is the way to go, or vice versa. Either one. The truth is, it's all the same thing. At the end of the day, those macros equals calories, right? And calories, the calories you take in becomes energy, and energy that you don't use is stored for later on, or if you never use it, stores fat. So as long as you're in a caloric deficit, whether you're going strictly by macros or strictly by calories, you're gonna lose weight. Now here's the thing, this is where macros do have an advantage, right? So if you strictly do calories in, calories out, and you don't know what you're doing, meaning if you're trying to lose weight or body fat and you strictly go by calories in versus calories out, but the way you're doing it is you're still eating like shit. You're like, all right, I'm eat a burger from Burger King, and that's gonna put me in X amount of calories, and that's what I got left over, so I'll be good, right? No, it doesn't work that way. First of all, the calories you're gonna get from that burger is gonna have a shit ton of fat, shit ton of grease. You are gonna get some protein from it. You are gonna get a shit ton of carbs from it. Same thing, you're gonna get fat from it, but it's not gonna be the good fats. So those are the things you gotta keep in mind. If you're gonna do calories in versus calories out, you better know what foods are the health. All you gotta do is make healthy options, healthy choices, right? Instead of getting the regular beef, get the lean beef. Instead of getting the same thing with the turkey. Instead of getting the one that has all the fats, all the stuff like that. Same thing, the way you cook it, right? Instead of adding a shit ton of oil on it, it already has some fat in it. Let it cook with that fat, or just add a little bit of oil for that flavor, and you should be good. Don't try to. I seen somebody put a shit ton of oil on the pan and then put the damn beef on top, and the beef wasn't even lean beef. It was just regular ass beef. So you got to keep that in mind, because the grease and all that stuff, they add up those calories up pretty fast, and next thing you know, you're going over your calories. And same thing, it's not the healthiest option for you, right? So you always want to look for the cleanest stuff to help you stay healthy and make that progress. Now back to it. At the end of the day, it's still the same thing. If you do calories in, calories out, you obviously want to go for the healthy calories. If you do macros, the advantage about the macros is that it forces you to make those healthy choices. So for example me, right? Let's say I just want to maintain, I say 2,000 calories, right? Notice I said 2,000 calories because before I get the macros, I gotta know how many calories I'm taking in. So with that being said, it's gonna be 180 grams of protein, which gives me 720 calories, 252 grams of carbs, which gives me 1,010 calories, and then 30 grams of fat, which gives me 270 calories. If I add all that up, 2,000 calories, right? So like I said, at the end of the day, they still equal calories, right? You're still bringing calories in, and those calories, I'm using up those calories for energy, right? Now let's say if I want to get in a caloric deficit, I might take from those 2,000 calories, I might take 100 to 200 calories out. Let's just say 1,800 calories. Then I just kind of divide that from whatever I need to divide that by to get my macros. So most likely I'll keep my fats the same at 30 grams, bring the carbs down. I might bring the protein down just a little bit, but like I said, you want to kind of keep it high to still get enough. Since I'm cutting out the carbs, I still want enough protein to kind of fuel me, right? Give me a little bit of energy if I need it, plus help me with my recovery from my workouts. So once again, and as far as the macros, right, the advantage that it has about choosing like healthier options. For example, if I have, let's just say 25 grams of protein left, and let's say 2 grams of fat left, for the night, right? And carbs, I'm already, let's just say 20 grams of carbs as well, right? And let's say I'm craving, I got an option, right? I got an option that, let's see, what does that round up to? So let's say 25 grams of protein, that's 100 calories, 2 grams of fat, that's 100, okay, That's 118 calories right there, plus the 20 grams of carbs, right? So that's 80. So 118 plus 80. So that means I got roughly 200 calories left, right? And I'm craving steak, right? But if I get the steak, yes, I can get the 200 calories, right? And I won't be going over. But I'll definitely be going over my fats. Protein will be okay. And then I still got to get my carbs in. So at the end of the day, yes, I'm still going to go over my calories. I'm still going to go over my fats. And the only thing that would be alright would be my protein. But like I said, I'm going to go over my calories in total. So with that being said, I might just get chicken, 6 ounces of chicken, roughly 120 calories, somewhere around there. I don't know about the top of my head. And it's either 4 or 6 ounces of chicken, which is going to give me my 25 grams of protein, and it has 0 fat, so I still save those 2 grams of fat. And let's just say I add some rice in there to get my carbs in, and let's say since neither of those actually have any fat in them, those 2 grams that equal 18 calories, I can either get more protein in or get a little bit more carbs in, and that's it. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, it was clean. I got full because the calories from the fat didn't add up, so I was actually able to eat a little bit more volume wise, and yeah, fill me up. And same thing, if you plan your meals with the macros, you can actually choose if you want to add a steak to it. Just plan out your whole day. Be like, all right, this is my steak. Here go 25 grams of protein, X amount of carbs, and X amount of fats, right? Let's just say 9 grams of fat. So I still got 21 grams of fat left that I can eat throughout the day. Let's just say 160 grams of protein, and let's just say 250 more carbs left, right? So just kind of mess around with it. Like I said, it forces you to make those healthy choices. That's the only difference between calories in versus calories out and macros. Now, do you have to choose one? No, you don't. You can actually, if you strictly want to eat clean, and have consistency and kind of learn your foods, I would say go with macros. Do macros so you can kind of like see what's clean, what's not clean, how much are you getting from one meal versus how much are you getting from the other meal, or which is the best option for you, or how can you play around with it. And once you get all that down, you can always switch over to the calories in versus calories out, because in your mind you already know what you got to eat, right? And obviously whenever you do the macros, your body's gonna feel some type of way. You're gonna feel, maybe you might feel leaner, right? Because you're not holding on to so much water weight with, by not getting too many carbs in, going over your carbs. Now you got like water retention, stuff like that. Same thing with the fats. You're not too bloated because fats kind of take a little bit longer to digest, so you're not gonna feel too bloated, and you're not losing that much muscle because of you get enough protein in, right? Once you get all that down, you can always do just regular calories in versus calories out, because you already know the healthy options, right? But at the end of the day, it's still the same thing. All right, moving on. Now, I said this before on episode 1, and it's the same thing here. You can always overeat on calories, whether it's healthy or not healthy, right? And obviously with macros, like I said, it forces you to choose the healthy options, right? If you know your macros. Now, just talking about macros in general, right? Your protein, your carbs, and your fats. There are clean versions and not so much of a clean versions. For example, like carbs, right? You got your clean carbs versus your not so clean carbs, meaning your whole versus refined carbs, right? You want to go with the whole. Same thing with the fats. You got the good fat versus the bad fat. So the good fat will be like fish, nuts, avocados. Your other fats will be like your baked fats like donuts, muffins, cakes, pizza dough, all that delicious stuff. Gotta go away. Now, it doesn't gotta go away completely. You can enjoy it once in a while, but it can't be on your regular day-to-day meal plan, you know. Same thing with protein. Protein itself, you know, it's good. It's just the food options that you choose, because you got to keep in mind that everything that you eat, it has either protein, carbs, or fats, unless it's like the zero calorie stuff. And even the 0 calorie stuff, you always got to kind of round it up to 5 calories. So fun fact, if it's under 5 calories, right, anything that's under 5 calories, they can actually just round it down to 0. So even if it says 0 on anything that you eat, just say it has 5 calories. I mean, it most likely has like maybe 3 calories, 4 calories. It's not the full 5, because once it has the 5 calories, they got to put 5 calories. But as long as it's under 5 calories, they can just round it up to 0. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Oh, back to what I was saying. My bad. I'll be getting lost. So you gotta really watch out for the foods you choose, right? And I see this, as far as protein, I see this a lot with like protein snacks, bars, stuff like that. I have clients that, you know, that we go over their meals, stuff like that, and then they tell me, oh, I'm eating this, you know, this protein bar or this protein snack, and then I go through it and I look at the label and I'm like, damn, this is a shitty protein bar. This is, yeah, it ain't good. Some protein bars, right? First of all, a good protein bar is gonna give you at least 20 grams of protein, and within that protein, it's obviously gonna have some carbs, and it's probably gonna have some fats, maybe like 3 grams of fat, unless it's like the keto snacks. They might be a little bit higher in fat and low on carbs, and somewhere they might be all right with protein. But those, I don't really consider those protein bars. Protein bars are at least 20 grams of protein, and they do not go over 200 calories. If they go over 200 calories, that either means their carbs are a little bit high, or their fats is, you know, a little bit higher. Or same thing with the sugars, right? They either got added sugars, so you got to watch out for that. So if you ever get a protein bar, make sure it's under 200 calories, 200 or less, at least 20 grams of protein, because I've seen some bars. Actually, there's actually a cookie, I forgot the name of it. I'll put a picture here somewhere in this when I edit it. And so it has around 18 grams of protein, right, per 2 servings. And now the whole and it has like 220 calories per serving. So it's like, it's one whole cookie, but half of the cookie, it's a serving, 220 calories on that half a cookie, plus the 220 plus the other half, which is gonna put you like at 500 and some calories. And within those 500 and some calories, you're only gonna get 18 grams of protein with a shit ton of carbs, some fat, and a shit ton of sugar. So it's like that's not no, you might as well have a whole meal if you're gonna get 500 some calories out of that little cookie that barely has any protein in it. I don't even know why they label this stuff as protein stuff whenever it's like one serving, it's only like 9 grams of protein. Like, it's not worth it. Not worth it at all. So you gotta watch out for that. And I'm probably gonna make like a whole video on that. But back to the topic. Macros. Macros. So with the macros, yeah, just keep that in mind. Keep your protein high. I say keep your carbs high as well, not too high, you know, not too high. If you need help with your macros, you know, send me a message. I'll leave the links down below for my Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Feel free to message me and I'll help you out with your macros. But you obviously want carbs, unless you're doing keto or any other kind of diet like the carnivore diet, stuff like that, that that kind of takes the carbs away. And unless you're doing anything like that, you want to make sure you get enough carbs so they can kind of fuel your workouts, give you energy throughout the day, give you that instant energy you need. That way you can kind of save your proteins for, like I said, muscle recovery, muscle repair, protein synthesis, all that good stuff. And you always want to, you know, get your healthy fats in, like avocado nuts, to protect your organs, and help you. Also, fats help you absorb like vitamin C faster. If you're not really getting your fats in, it's kind of hard for your body to kind of take in those vitamins that you need from your protein and your carbs. So all those three, your body needs all three to kind of get the best of everything, right? Like I said, carbs gives you instant energy, helps you save your protein for muscle recovery, helps you feel, you know, gets you stronger. Protein also helps you stay full longer. Same thing with the fats, just because they're both of them take a while to kind of break down. And like I said, your fats are going to help you, you know, help your organs stay, you know, nice and safe, and helps you with your blood pressure. And like I said, your fats help you absorb those vitamins. So the vitamins that you get from the protein and your carbs are going to be you know, your body's going to take them in faster if you are getting in your healthy fats, like your fish oil, stuff like that. So yeah, that's it. I'm probably gonna make a part 2. I feel like I didn't really give that much information on this video, except the basics. I'm probably gonna make a part 2 so I can kind of go more into detail about macros, right? But like I said, just stick around, like, share this video, subscribe to the channel. If you're new to it, I put kind of different videos up, giving, you know, trying to give you guys information as far as the nutrition advice episodes that I'm making. Like I said, try to go watch episode 1, calories in versus calories out. This one is macros. I'm gonna make a episode 2 of macros, breaking it down a little bit more, and then I'm probably gonna get into the diet, such as the keto diet, carnivore diet, high protein, low carb, stuff like that, all that good stuff, to where you can get the basics and then work your way all the way down to where you're like, I got this shit packed, you know. I'm just trying to help you guys out, all right? So once again, make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all that good stuff. And if you're in Fayetteville or near Fayetteville and you're looking for a personal trainer for one-on-one training, feel free to message me. Or if you are looking for group training, I also have the perfect gym for that. Just let me know. And if you need any online coaching, I also do online coaching. So feel free to message me, all right? Let's get it.